It was roughly around last July when I started to work on this project. 3 months for a trilogy of songs was the result, and they were released as an EP with the title Redemption. To redeem is to live by every day. It's a routine that heavily depends on habitual activities. It's just as if how we get up every day to get dressed. The act of improving simply is redemption in the flesh and its summary. Or in this case of visual metaphor, it starts with a film set that contains nothing, and for it to be prepared for a shoot. As it slowly gets filled up by a character and furnitures or props, it will make up for the sheer emptiness that the space contained previously. I would be foolish to say that I did not see the mistakes that I have made to hunt me back one day. Every horrible words to actions that I would not be able to take back anymore. Every thoughtless decisions that I have made. They are the cost and consequences that I have to live by. It was a long overdue struggle that I owed to myself and others that I've hurt. I was that ignorant. To live the life without the cost is much easier than to reflect on my own behavior. However, sooner or later, and much thankfully, I have realized that there is neither an absolution or a way to restore, to go back to how things were. I was abandoned and thrown in a river that I have filled up with my own remorse. Subsequently, that was how I treated writing songs. Ever since I started to compose, this was just the longest hiatus I have ever taken from songwriting. Just like every valuable things that were falling apart to my touch, I felt abandoned by something that I hold so closely to my heart. How would I feel after trying tirelessly to come up with a melody, but to be greeted by a horrible sounding one, or better yet, nothing at all? We all like to believe that redeeming after our mistakes is what takes place overnight, because it is much easier to be changed for a day or two, but would it sustain for a month long or even to a year? Hence, redemption is habitual activity with one simple belief. A little better tomorrow has been my ethical and moral compass ever since. Reading and studying about ethics was like a little light trying to brighten up a dimly lit environment just by a little. Let's quickly go back to songwriting. What I had to focus on if I was afraid of composing is to practice as a musician, nurturing every instrument that I have fell in love with in the first place. It certainly was the main factor that gravitated me back towards songwriting. When I knew that I had to talk about redemption for the upcoming EP, that was when I truly enjoyed writing songs more than ever. 3 months of grief and isolation has gifted me with 3 beautiful songs. They were 2 years more mature and wiser than my debut album, and there are nothing more to be changed and polished. So what has setting up for a video shoot has got to do with the concept of the EP or anything that I have been talking about? What redemption, to my belief, is a habit that is driven by willingness to be a better person. Not just for myself, but for everyone that I have hurt previously, and also for the love of them. I owe it to each one of them way more than the selfishness to say hurtful things without a second of thinking the outcome of it, or to do things without consideration of others. Hence, redemption is all about preparation with the right intention in extent. It is extremely difficult for a person to change or to improve. However, with the right intention and preparation, I would be ways that I would normally hurt others previously. In this case of visual metaphor, everything that takes place to shoot a video is the preparation that has to take place to redeem the content. An idea that starts with a blank piece of paper and for it to start breathing like a living being as it gets filled up by words. Just like a naked body that is being dressed like a frame that previously contained nothing to be filled with props and a character. A flat lighting that eventuates to have cinematic depths with an addition of several different light sources. Every single frame of preparation is made for redemption and for everyone and everything that I love. That is how I wrote the songs that you are listening to. This is Dae Kim and I